So again, my name is TJ Kidder. I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications here at Learn Academy. Thank you all for joining us for a VetTec info session. This is a great way to kind of learn more about our program and learn more about how the VetTec program works inside of Learn. So we're really excited to get to know you all a little bit more and tell you a little bit more about how the VetTec program works. So let's go ahead and get moving here. So to kick off our schedule, like I mentioned, we're just going to do a quick little check-in. It's a fun way to kind of break the ice, get to know each other a little bit more. And then we'll dive into a little bit more like what the enrollment process looks like, what our prep courses look like, what the onboarding process looks like here at Learn. And then we'll kind of talk, we'll hand it off to our lead instructor, Sarah, and she'll talk a little bit more about what the cohort requirements are, what does it look like after graduation, and then we'll dive into any last minute questions. So just real quick, one more time. Again, I'm TJ. It's nice to meet you all. But we do really hope for you all to engage with us. So please turn on your camera. We'd love to hear from you in the chat. These info sessions are great, but it's a two-way street. So we really hope you guys can be a part of it. And let's move on into our Zoom etiquette real quick. So Learn Academy is a brave space. And what we mean by that is we really try to have a space that we are online and but this still is a public space. So to promote a spirit of inclusivity, we make sure that we are welcoming, friendly, and patient. We ask that everyone be respectful to each other. We also ask that you participate and engage throughout the presentation. Like I said, please ask questions, please have your camera on. We want to make sure you're fully present and understand everything that is being covered here. So please do make sure yourself, also please make sure you have yourself muted and you're not talking during the presentation. That'll just kind of keep things going, but please do use the chat function to answer any questions. All of us from the team are going to be here answering any questions that you have. So we're going to be really quick and really at it as the presentation is going down. Cool, let's get it moving down the road a little bit. So the way I want to do this real quick is we'll do an introduction. I'm going to pass it off to each member of the staff, and I'll kind of tell you a little bit who they are, what they do here at Learn, and then we're going to talk about, what did you want to do when you were young? So check-in, which is fun, is we do this every day inside the classroom, and it's a way to just kind of break the ice, like I said, and kind of get everybody in the learning mode. So please do this as well. We really want to hear from you guys. Like you said, we got a little bit where you are, so maybe what branch of the military you served at, because we are really excited that you guys are here, and we're really proud to be serving the VetTec program and be proud to be serving the community. Oh, we got one mute on. I heard my voice creeping through. Cool. So like I said, I am TJ. I am the Director of Marketing Communications at Learn. And when I was young, I kind of wanted to be an archaeologist. I loved dinosaurs. I loved, everything about dinosaurs, but it brought me to marketing. So I don't know how I got here. I'm going to pass it off to Sarah, and she's going to kind of do the same thing. So please, like I said, engage in chat. We want to hear a little bit more from you guys as well.
Everyone, thanks so much for joining us. My name's Sarah. I am the head of all things classroom at Learn. I live in San Diego, and when I was young, I really wanted to be a veterinarian, but mostly because I just assumed that they play with animals all day long. So I'm happy that I took a different career path into tech. I'll pass it to our enrollment manager, Kumba.
Hey everyone, so good to see most of y'all. Talked to some of y'all today, previous days, so it's good to see everyone again. Oh gosh, when I was younger, I used to be obsessed with pageants, and I thought I wanted to be Miss America. So there. I'm gonna pass it off to Bo.
Hey guys, Bo Hale from San Diego. And I'm one of the new instructors at Learn. I'm very happy to be a part of this whole situation, this whole learning everything. When I was young, I actually really wanted to be in a fighter jet, like a pilot or something involved with that, maybe even a mechanic. or even a helicopter. That was, I mean, I still think about that all the time, but now I'm coding and I'm pretty happy. I'm going to pass it off to Elise.
Hi, I'm Elise. I'm an associate instructor at Learn, and I live in San Diego. I wanted to be a singer when I was a kid. I wanted to be a lot of things. I thought about being a vet and everything, but ultimately wanted to be a singer as a kid, so, and still as an adult. So welcome, and it's good to meet you all.
Wonderful. Thank you all from the staff for sharing that. I really do appreciate it. We have some awesome answers here in the chat. Maybe Jose Aguilar, do you want to share about your what you wanted to be when you were growing up real quick?
Can you hear me? I don't know if my mic works or not.
Yeah, we hear you.
Not growing up, I always wanted to be an astronaut because I thought looking at the moon was pretty cool. And I always wanted to have like a picnic with some chocolate milk on it. So that was my dream as a kid.
I love that. Thank you, Jose. We're happy to have you here. Anybody else want to share? Please open your mic real quick if you feel like sharing to the group. Anybody? Maybe Juan? You know, you wanted to be a firefighter? That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, if you can hear me, I wanted to be a firefighter for a couple of years, and then got to do that a little bit in the military, in the Marine Corps. So got my little experience. So I'm sort of satisfied.
Excellent, almost there. Awesome. We got clinical psychologist from Lance. That's awesome. Amanda wanted to be a vet, kind of like Sarah too. That's cool too. Anybody else want to share? Mike's, you're welcome to unmute yourself.
Hi, I'm Jeremy.
How's everybody doing? Oh, sorry.
No worries. We'll let Jeremy go first, and then I didn't catch who was up next, but you're welcome to go right after him. Go ahead, Jeremy. Oh, you're muted. I'm sorry.
Oh, here we go. Sorry. Hi, I'm Jeremy. I was stationed in San Diego for a few years, but I'm actually back in Atlanta, Georgia now. So I just actually heard this VetTec program, so I thought I'd take advantage of it. What I wanted to be when I was young, I loved playing video games, and that kind of developed into the love of computers, and I always wanted to do something with computers.
Love that. Thank you, Jeremy. Well, you've come to the right place because this is the next career path that we're looking at. We have one more individual I didn't see who was going to share. You're welcome to do that right away.
How's everybody doing? My name's Quentin. From DC. Currently live in Charlotte. What I'm doing when I was younger, falls back a little on what Elise said. A lot of people want to be in music. I wanted to make beats when I was younger.
Love it. I love it. Thank you, Quentin. So I think we have maybe one or two more people. Anyone want to share before we start?
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
Guys?
I'm Steven. When I was younger, I've always dabbled in art and drawing, and that still stays true today, but I'm not a professional artist. It's just a hobby.
Well, hobbies are awesome, so I appreciate you having that. Oh, we got one more mute filter now, so we turn it off. Cool. So I think we're going to move on to the next stage of our presentation. If anybody has any last few second thoughts, please go ahead and put that in the chat. And right now, we're actually going to start to move into talking about the program a little bit more. And I'm going to pass it off to our enrollment manager, Kumba, and she's going to start diving into this and going over for us.
Thank you so much, TJ. It's great to be able to speak to some of y'all again and some folks that I have not met with. I'm looking forward to learning more about you a little bit more in depth. So our program is a 4-month full stack web development program. And how that breaks down is the first 3 months. That's where you will meet and collaborate with your classmates from all around the country, very similar to what's happening tonight. There are folks from everywhere. That's the wonderful, amazing thing about Learn. And and your instructors as well. You'll meet in the virtual classroom where you will learn everything about coding education and everything it takes to become a full stack web developer. That would be the first 3 months of the program. The last month is spent learning, spent at a 1-month remote internship at a tech company or a startup where you will be working on internal and external client-facing projects. You get to gain a lot of real crucial real-world experiences and mentorship And oftentimes, a lot of our students, that's their first job in the field. About a little under 40% of our students will get hired by the internship options, which is really great. And lastly, we have career services, which is such a big part of our program. And Jake will go into a lot of details about that. So career services happens during the program as well as after the program. We help you with your career search plan to land that job in the industry. And I think one of the most important things, that aspects of Learn, I think that probably is not highlighted as much, but it definitely should be, is our community of support. That's really, really important, because ultimately our job here is to provide a safe, inclusive space where you're going to be learning everything it takes to become a full stack web developer, right? And that's going to take support. It's going to take guidance. It's going to take just a lot of hard work, and Learn is going to provide you with that space so that you're able to not only learn the technical skills, but you have the environment to thrive and learn as you ultimately graduate and become a certified full stack web developer, okay? And we're going to talk a little bit more about just the enrollment process. Some of y'all have already been through it. Some of y'all have not been through it. So forgive me for those folks who have been through it. So you're kind of already familiarized with it. But part of the enrollment process that we've updated, because this program is really extremely popular. I cannot even articulate to you enough of how much, just in the veteran community and just folks that are not veterans, but especially in the vet community, it's become extremely popular because we're one of very few options here in California and for the VetTec program. So part of that process, right now, the decisions will be made tomorrow. You will get an admissions enrollment decision. And that means if you've already done an admissions interview, we have your application, you've attended the VetTec information session, those folks that have gone through that process, their decisions will come out by the close of business tomorrow. Our class size is unfortunately capped at 20 students. So you can only imagine there's so many students and so few spots that are available. All individuals who have not gone through that enrollment process yet, or parts of that enrollment process, your application will be considered for our Bravo cohort. The great thing is we've expanded our classroom for 2022, and there's only going to be about a month difference in between the start of the cohort. So if you don't get into the February 14th cohort, there's one starting immediately after in March, on March 21st. So all's not lost, and we're going to be making those decisions fairly soon for the March cohort with folks in that cohort too. So for folks who have not gone through the interview process, I like to think of it as a conversation. There's no pressure. This is not it's not a right or wrong answer. It's just for me to get to know you a little bit better about your goals and what's important to you and you as an individual, and in terms of why you are pursuing this, I guess, career at this point in your life. But it's just to get to know you. So I like to think of it more as a conversation. Please don't feel pressure whatsoever. I will take some notes. It's very similar to a job interview, but as I said, it's really just to get to know you a little bit better and kind of see if this is the right fit for you as well, okay? And then our committee will review these applications and make these decisions, as I said, tomorrow as well. Enrollment decisions typically come out 60 days and 45 days before the cohort is how that typically happens. When a student is admitted into the program, you will start what we call the onboarding process. Go ahead and go to the next slide. Before I kind of get into the onboarding process, I'll just kind of go over just kind of the VetTec technicalities, all right? Before any student is admitted into the program, you do have to have your COE, your certificate of eligibility. Without that, you cannot be admitted into the program, because that means VetTec will not allocate any funds for your program, so we cannot proceed if you do not have that certificate of eligibility. You cannot proceed with the admissions. You can still go through the process, but we will not give you a decision until we have that paperwork that's either attached to your application, or you can forward that to me if you did not get a chance to attach it to your application. And then what will happen is when a student is accepted, about 30 days prior to the start of the class, I will give you a phone call and I will get your social security number. And what happens is that starts the process for them to allocate funds to the program. Once your enrollment has been updated in the VetTec system, that tells them, hey, student X has applied to Learn. They will go through their verification process, and then ultimately they'll send you a letter approving the course, right? So that has to happen 30 days prior. We'll upload all that information in the system. Now, one thing, there is this 18-month training period. So if we go through that process where you're accepted, we upload your social security number in the VA system, and they send you out your acceptance letter saying, hey, student X, we're going to pay for this program. And you decide during the program that, hey, I am not interested in doing this anymore. It's too difficult, or something comes up. You will not be able to access VetTec for 18 months. So part of this process of going through the interview process to just make sure too that this is the right fit for you, that you're ready at this time to make this commitment, because it's 4 months of your life that you're going to be, some of these individuals will be in the class with you for the next 4 months, and you'll create great friendships, but it's a commitment, and we want to make sure that your schedule is going to be able to take on that commitment too as well. And as well, so our program right now, because of COVID, we are remote. We've been remote for almost 2 years, and I would say we've done an amazing job of just adapting our program to an online program where there's lots of interaction. Sarah will speak specifically to that when she starts talking here in a couple of minutes after I do. But because of that, your housing stipend. Right now, there's a whole lot of confusion that's happening, but typically right now, because our program is remote, the BAH is based off of the remote online rate, which means that there is a difference in the in-person rate versus the online rate. So I would advise you to go on the VA website to find out what the difference is. But for budgeting purposes, we like to let our vets know so that they can budget properly for what that BAH is going to be. Next slide. All right. Once a student has been admitted into the program, you will start what's called our onboarding process. There will be a link to a onboarding site that'll have all the details. Please read that site very thoroughly. There's not going to be a point where we're not going to communicate with you about what the next steps are, but we do put the onus on you to be able to go through that checklist on that website to read everything and turn in all the intended documents. If that stuff is not turned in, we will pull your acceptance and give it to the next student on the wait list, because it's time-sensitive documents and we don't want to be waiting for that stuff. So if we don't get that stuff on time, and if you're not reading your emails, you're not following up with us, we will relinquish your acceptance and move to the next person on that wait list. As you can tell, this is just a fraction of the folks that are interested in this program today. So there's lots of folks that are interested. So if you're not gonna, just take it on yourself to kind of read through the site and follow up with the documentations, we will give your spot to the next person that happens to be on the wait list. So the onboarding process, obviously part of that is, as I talked about, the 18-month waiting period. You will go through, we will get you some personal information, the required prep course, tutorials. You'll sign up for a one-on-one meeting with our lead instructor. You'll sign up for your Slack. We need your high school diploma or college diploma as well. Just required documents, and then setting up your time to pick up your laptop. For folks that are local, they'll come and pick it up. For folks that are more than 2 hours away, we will mail you all your equipment and all that stuff to where you live. Okay. The next slide. Okay. Jumpstart. Part of the onboarding process is our required prep course called Jumpstart. Jumpstart is a great way to find out if this is right for you, right? Because this may not necessarily, there are some folks that I've talked to, y'all have great experience. So some folks are not coming to this brand new, they kind of know this is what they want to do. But for others, maybe this is not the good fit for you. Maybe the online experience is not what you're looking for, even though it is a very interactive experience, but this may not necessarily be for you. So part of Jumpstart is not only getting your fundamentals under your belt, but it's also figuring out if this is the right fit for you, the right program for you, and to just make sure that you hit the ground running and you're successful in the full-time course. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday course that you're required to attend. And the first one will happen actually this weekend. So for folks who will get the acceptance tomorrow, you will start the onboarding process to register for that course on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have a Jumpstart every month for students who are admitted into the program. The next one after the January date will be February 21st to February 23rd, and that will apply to the folks that are in the Bravo cohort that's starting on March 21st, okay? So yeah, and it's obviously a great way also to meet our instructors, meet your classmates around the country. As I said, these are the folks you're going to spend the next 4 months of your life with. These are the folks you're going to go to internship with. These are the folks that you're going to eventually work in some companies with too as well. So it's just a great way to just see how everything works and to meet your future coworkers, as I would like to call them as well. Okay. All right.
Awesome. Thank you, Kumba. Any last minute thoughts before we pass it off to our awesome classroom?
And at the end, we'll just give you an opportunity for some questions and stuff like that too. So I'll pass it off to Sarah.
Oh boy. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with us this evening. We're just really excited that there are so many people that are interested in our program. As I mentioned earlier, my name's Sarah, and I'm the lead instructor, and I oversee all things classroom related at Learn. And so I just want to talk to you a little bit about the expectations in the classroom at Learn, both expectations that you can, like what you can expect from us, and then also what we expect from our students. So to start with, we're a very collaborative and caring environment. These are top-down core values to us at Learn. So what that means in the classroom is that we're striving to create a space where where all of us, instructors, students, Learn staff, community members, that all of us as a group of humans are going to work together. We're going to support each other, and we're going to help everybody move forward on their learning journey. In case you didn't know yet, learning coding is really freaking hard. Nobody came into this world knowing how to talk successfully to a computer. And you know, the thing about life is that you can't be really good at something until you are bad at it first. And so it is very important to us that we create a space where you're allowed to be bad at something that's really hard, and that collectively is okay. So that space is important, and we're very protective of that. It's really necessary that in order to create that space, that we need everybody on the team to commit. We need you to commit to the process. We need you to be reliable. So our expectations is that as a student, you show up every day on time and you do the work. So we expect to see you and your shining face in class every day, which is Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the Pacific time zone for 16 weeks. You got to show up, you got to engage, you got to be uncomfortable, you got to ask for help, and you got to take the time to help others, because that growth is only going to happen during the hard parts. So yeah, perfect, TJ, you can switch. Okay, so there's a stereotype about developers that we are all a bunch of nerdy introverts who only wear black hoodies and drink coffee by the pot and live in mom's basement and never talk to people. And I'm here to tell you that that's not true, because I have hoodies that are lots of different colors. Just kidding. But the talking to people part is actually sometimes can be a shock to people who are coming into dev work. But coding is a language. And in essence, what coding is, it's communication. And so to be a truly effective developer, you have to learn how to be an excellent communicator of ideas to other humans. And so to practice this skill, we do a lot of pair programming. Pair programming is two students working together on a single project. So that goes back partially to the commitment, where you and someone else are paired together. And if you don't show up to class that day, you're affecting the person that you're working with. So we expect that you're in class and that you're participating. But in order to collaboratively work this way and be effective, we need all the technologies that we're working with to match really specifically. And so that's kind of a long way of saying that we loan you a computer during the duration of your time at Learn. And yes, you do have to use it. It's a MacBook Air. The technologies that we use at Learn are better suited for the Mac operating system. And since I set up all the computers, it makes it much easier for me to bug fix if something goes wrong. So in my time at Learn, I've worked with over 200 students, and I will tell you that the people who get the job fastest are not necessarily the people who are the best developers in their cohort. The people who find employment fastest are the people who have a good attitude and who have good communication skills. And they're the people who are committed to the grind. And truly, the people who are the most excited about learning are the ones that are going to see the most success in the end. So it's all of this process put together in learning communication, in committing to the process, and showing up to your cohort and being engaged that ultimately makes us successful as a team. So we have the classroom portion of the cohort lasts 12 weeks. So Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 in Pacific time zone for 12 weeks. And then the remaining 4 weeks are an internship. And we partner with tech companies to give you the experience of working with a dev team. We do a lot of fundamental and coding work and project work in the classroom, but there's really those pieces that we can't provide in the classroom, the quote unquote real world. So giving you the internship is an opportunity to see, what does a typical day look like for a developer? How do remote teams communicate? What happens when you get stuck? How do you elevate problems? How do you decide what you're going to work on? And so all of those things are going to be unique to a company. And so the internship is that opportunity for you to see what it looks like in the everyday life of the developer. It's also really nice to just have something else on your portfolio and on your resume, just get started. The sort of catch-22 of making a job pivot is that you can't get a job without experience, but how do you get a job if you don't have experience? And so we're trying to help break that problematic cycle that we see with people transitioning into tech. At Learn, we offer individualized career services. So everyone's path and everyone's goals are different. And the job search plan for everyone is going to be slightly different. And so we like to tailor that specifically to you. Our program is not exclusively for veterans, but we do work with a lot of veteran programs. And so we try and, if you're somebody who can use that kind of resource, that we try and incorporate those resources to help you on your path to your next job. Because the end goal, this program, it really is at the end of the day, it's a job search program where we're figuring out how you can successfully transition careers. So the end goal is that you want to get a job in tech. But the thing is that technically we can't get you a job because you are the only person who can get you a job. But just like in the classroom, just like in the process of learning coding, that sucks. Looking for a job is hard. And so we want to provide you with the tools and the support and the resources to find a job. But ultimately, the people who are going to be successful are the people who are willing to put in the work. And after you graduate the Learn program, you have career services for life. So we want to help you get that first job, but we really hope that you come back when you're ready to look for your second job or third job, or when your company is ready to take on interns and you're going to be the person mentoring them, or you're ready to hire and you want to, use our resources at Learn to help find your next junior developer. So we really rely, as Kim was mentioning, our community is one of our biggest assets. We have our general Slack channel, which Slack is our main communication, and the channel where everybody has like over 600 people in it. And so we really lean on the community that we've built in order for all of us to find success.
Thank you, Sarah. That kind of wraps up our presentation here for the evening, where we've kind of touched on what the program looks like, what the enrollment process looks like, a little bit about our internship program, what the career services look like. So at this time, we'd love to open the floor to any questions. You can do this two ways.
One point about
please, go right ahead, Kumba.
career services. And one thing that Learn really does is, so the VA offers a bunch of extra career services to vets too as well. But oftentimes there's so much going on that sometimes y'all may not necessarily get those alerts or notifications. So what part of the career search plan, what Jake will do is also bring in those VA resources to you as you're meeting one-on-one with him. So you know what's happening in the VA, like whether it's different job fairs or sometimes they have partnership with huge companies that we do not, like Amazon and Google and stuff like that. So they may have direct partnerships that y'all may not necessarily know that's going on. So he will bring in those resources in-house and direct you to that. And they also provide, for example, LinkedIn Premium to vets for a whole year. That a lot of folks are not aware of that. So we'll definitely work to bring in those those resources in-house for our vets too as well.
Wonderful. Thank you for adding those last few nuggets, Kumba. I appreciate it. Cool. Like I mentioned, please chat. If anybody wants to unmute themselves, they're more than welcome to ask a few questions real quick.
Quick question.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Miss McGill, I meant to ask you today during the meeting, can I send you my COE in email? I definitely forgot to attach that to my application.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yes.
Go right ahead.
My name is Victor Delgado. I'm in San Diego right now. And when I was a kid, I wanted to be a marine biologist. But as far as my other question, my certificate of eligibility came in via email, and I got it straight from the VA, but I didn't get to upload it, or I didn't get a chance, like a PDF format, to upload it to the website. So should I forward that, or?
Yeah, great question. So there's a couple ways that you can do this. If you don't mind, just mute yourself real quick for the echo. Yeah, so one of the great, so you can forward us the email. You can also go to inside your email application, whether you use Gmail or Outlook, and you can print a copy as a PDF, usually from there. So there's two ways. Either just go ahead and forward Kumba the email, or you can get the PDF version by printing it and then send us that one. So either way works. We'll probably just print it out as a PDF anyway. So whichever route that ends up.
All right, and it was mentioned that it's going to be fully remote?
Yeah, yes, 100%. So our program is fully remote. That includes the classroom and the internship as well.
Our day-to-day looks exactly like this. There's a bunch of us hanging out in a Zoom room, all of us kind of chatting, working through whatever topic it is.
Thank you.
Cool. And so just to also mention, we are recording this. So in our follow-up, we're going to send out the recording to this VetTec info session. So you'll have it on hand if you want to look back at any other information. We, like Kuba mentioned, we have our next prep course coming up this weekend and next month. So Jumpstart, it is our prep course, but it is open to everybody who just wants to learn coding, which is a fantastic way. If you've never seen coding, Jumpstart really is a great way to, like Kuma mentioned, to get started in coding. And it's a great way to see exactly how our classroom operates. So if you don't get a chance to get into our alpha cohort and are still in the, we do recommend checking out Jumpstart. We also have some workshops that happen over the weekend. So our next day workshop is happening on February 5th. This is called Mini Jumpstart. It's just a one-day, 6-hour prep course. It's a lot of the same materials that we see during Jumpstart, but just a little bit scaled back. And I'll send all this information to all of you guys in the follow-up, most likely tomorrow or Thursday. So you'll have all that information on hand. Cool. Yeah, please go right ahead.
So I just signed up for the Jumpstart this weekend. Trying to get ahead of the schedule for February, but was told that February is full, so look for March. Do I have to take it again in March, or is it going to count if I just take it in February?
Great question. Great
take
question.
It this weekend.
Yeah. So if you do take Jumpstart, it would. I do need to talk to our team just because we want to make sure that we have our details in order, but it should be all right because it is the same skills. It's not like we teach something different there. Jumpstart is our prep course. So if you are a student or are not a student, you are still seeing the same materials and you're learning.
Yeah, you can take whatever Jumpstart you want, or if it's just something where you're curious about how it works and then decide like, I don't think that's for me, that you are more than welcome to join whatever Jumpstart. The only downside would be that typically the class right before a cohort starts just has more of the students that you'd be potentially working with, but the content would be the same.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Damon. And we got a question from Robert coming in about if we've had any reservists go on orders during the cohort and how that would be handled. We've actually not had that situation come up yet. We've been with the VetTec program for going on close to a year now. We haven't seen that. We have had an individual who had to drop because he got COVID, and we are working on getting him back into the program hopefully soon. So like Kumba mentioned,
oh, he's back. He's back and crushing it.
Excuse me, he's already back in the classroom. Wonderful. So there is, Kumba, and you can clarify my information here if I screw anything up, but there, if you do drop, like you do have to get back in it really quickly, or Kumba, can you just add that again? Do you know if it's for reservists?
Yeah, so we have not had that situation, as TJ said, but there is something called a leave of absence, because first, obviously, just Learn's policy, you can only miss a certain number of days, right? So if you have reserve duty that's going to take you away from the classroom for more than the allotted time that's on the books, you can do a leave of absence and go through the VetTec process where they will, I guess, instead of you having to wait that 18 months because it is a reserve duty, we can go through that paperwork and they'll put your stuff on hold, and then you can be able to join the next cohort and all. There's a whole bunch of technicalities for that. But if it's just like missing class, then that's a little bit different. But hopefully that answers your question, Robert. And if you
Great. Thank you, Kumba. Yeah, I think it does. I do remember the leave of absence. Yes, you are correct. So that is an option that we can take if you get sick or if most likely you get into the reserves. Any other questions here this evening? It was so great to have you all. I hope you got all the information you were looking for. And we're actually
how you doing?
Go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying for the internships, for individuals who are not local, are the internships you all coordinate with usually based out of California or remote, or do you all coordinate with internships that are not, that, you know, other internships that aren't just local to California?
Our entire program for 2022 is remote. So we're not offering anything in person, and that includes the internships.
And I think just to go into a little bit more detail there, yeah, so all of our internship companies are realistically in the Southern California locale at this time. Now that we are growing and it is right, Sarah? I mean, we are expanding our internship network across.
We've been able to branch out. We've actually had quite a few remote internships. Or I should say they're all remote, but we've had internships that are starting to expand outside of San Diego. Obviously, our roots are in person. We started with having a physical classroom space, and then navigating to the remote world happened as a result of COVID. But it also feels to us like this is the direction that tech is going. And so setting that realistic experience for our students makes sense. And it also is, it's been able to afford us the opportunity to stay safe, even when the variants have come around, and to expand our reach a little bit. It's been something that we never really thought about being able to reach outside of San Diego before. And now that we're doing it with our students, we're also starting to do it with our internships. We do operate in the Pacific time zone. So we tend to work with companies who are on Pacific time slots, but we have worked with companies in the Mountain time zone. And our programming is live remote. So while we have a structured time every day that we get together, we don't have a structured area, and we map that same idea to our internship partners. So lots of them are in the San Diego area, just as lots of our students are, but we've definitely been able to expand that reach beyond.
Excellent. Thank you, Sarah. Well, that answers your question. Cool. Any last few more before we close on out tonight? Before we get to that, you're more than welcome to find us all on LinkedIn. We're all on LinkedIn. You can reach out to us if you have any last minute questions. We have our website chat. I'm sure you have Kumba's email if you want to ask her a few last minute questions. And then you can also contact us through our website. So if you have any few last minute questions, there's quite a few ways to get in touch with us just in case you need to. We have one more question, it looks like.
Yes. Where can I find Kuma's email?
Great. Yeah. So I'll forward out when I send out the follow-up. If you don't have it on hand, I'll have Kuma's email attached here. I'll also actually just put it in chat just in case you don't have it.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Wonderful. Well, I think we're going to close it on out here tonight. It was such an honor to have you guys all here. We're really excited to see some of your faces some more. And hopefully we hear from you all soon. So thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it. Have a good rest of your evening.